Welcome to this tutorial for creating steel connections. In this tutorial, you will learn how to model steel connections. More specifically, you will learn how to add base plates to columns, and how to connect beams and columns with eaves haunches, and beams with apex haunches. Components are tools that you can use to connect parts in the model. Components automate tasks and group objects so that techless structures treats them as a single unit. Connection components connect two or more parts and create all the required objects, such as cuts, fittings, parts, bolts, and welds. All components are stored in the Applications and Components catalog in the side pane. When you have added the component, techless structures shows the status of the components using different colors of the symbols. The green symbol shows that the component was created successfully. The yellow symbol shows that the component was created, but has problems. This often occurs when bolts or holes have an edge distance that is less than the default value. The red symbol shows that the component was not created. Common reasons are that the properties are incorrect or that the up direction is not appropriate. Let's add base plates for the steel columns. Open the View list and the View Plan 7200. Open the Applications and Components catalog in the side pane. You can also press Ctrl+F. You could find the component by browsing the categories, but if you know the name or the number of the component, it's faster to use the search tool at the top of the catalog. Type base plate. If you want to view the component properties, double-click the component. There are a lot of options you can modify, such as plate dimensions, anchor rods, extra plates, and bolts. On the Picture tab, let's modify this dimension of the plate. Once you have selected the tool, select the columns from the model using area selection. Then, pick the location for the plate. The base plate is added to all the selected columns. Interrupt the command by pressing the Escape key. Switch to 3D view to better view the end result. Pause here to practice what you just learned. Let's add connections for the steel beams. First, let's connect the beams to our columns. In 3D view, open the Applications and Components catalog. Search for the component eaves haunch 102. Again, there are many properties that you could modify if needed, but let's go with the standard properties. To place eaves haunches, pick first the column and then the beam. The connection is added automatically. If you were to modify the dimensions of either the beam or the column, the connection would adjust accordingly. Add eaves haunches between other beams and columns. Interrupt the command. Next, let's add connections between the beams. On the Applications and Components catalog, search for apex haunch. Again, let's use the standard properties. Place the connection by picking the two beams you want to connect. Repeat for other beams. Interrupt the command. As you can see, some symbols related to the components you just added are visible. You can hide them from the view properties or with the contextual toolbar. If it's not visible, press Ctrl+K on your keyboard. Under the eye icon, you can define what is visible on the view. Let's hide component symbols, fittings, and cuts in added material. Pause here to practice what you just learned. You have now reached the end of this tutorial. In this tutorial, you learned how to create steel connections to your model. You learned how to add base plates, as well as connections for the steel beams. You can now close this tutorial and proceed to the next.